My husband's family has been calling me a secret nickname for 8 years. I just found out what it means. I met my husband on the side of the road when I got a flat tire. And he pulled over to help. He told me my brake pads were shot. I thought he was joking until he showed me the actual pads, which were worn to nothing. He saved my life, so I gave him my number. His family is Thai. They have big, loud dinners where everyone talks over each other. I loved it because my family's idea of bonding is sitting in silence, watching Wheel of Fortune. First time I met his mom, she looked me up and down and said something in Thai to my husband. He laughed, really laughed. Then he caught himself and said, "She says you have kind eyes." She called me something that sounded like Noosao. I asked what it meant. He said, "It's like dear girl, a term of affection." I almost cried. My own mom hadn't called me anything that nice since I was 6. From then on, everyone in his family called me that. His aunt, his cousins, his grandmother. I started introducing myself that way at gatherings. "Hi. I'm the new Sao." Everyone would laugh. And my husband would laugh loudest. I never thought they were laughing at me. I looked up the translation one time. And it said, "Dear girl." Just like my husband had told me. At our wedding, his whole side chanted it. During our first dance, my husband was grinning ear to ear. I decided to surprise my husband and got it tattooed on my wrist in Thai script. When I showed him, something flickered across his face. Just for a second. Then he smiled and said it looked beautiful. His cousin saw it at a pool party and choked on her drink so hard she left. I figured she swallowed wrong. Here's the thing about me and understanding Thai. I never learned it because my husband always translated. He said it would come naturally. Anytime I tried to learn, my husband would say, "The best way to learn is to live it." Duolingo is a scam. I trusted him. But last month, we had his family over for a cookout. I was in the kitchen when his aunt came in for napkins. She didn't see me behind the fridge door. She was on the phone laughing. And I heard my nickname, but the tone was different, meaner. Then she said my husband's name and laughed harder. She hung up and saw me. Oh, Noosao. You scared me. Her face went guilty. That night, I couldn't sleep. I grabbed my phone and typed the words into Google. The translation said, "Dear girl." Just like it had last time. But I typed the letters into Google Translate again. Noosao. Result, young girl / little mouse, term of endearment. I stared at the glowing screen until my eyes burned. The blue light washed over the bedroom, illuminating Kevin's sleeping form. He was snoring softly, his arm thrown over his eyes, the picture of a man with a clear conscience. I knew Google wasn't wrong about the letters. But I also knew what I saw in his aunt's eyes. It wasn't affection. It was the look you give a dog that keeps walking into a glass door. It was pity mixed with amusement. I remembered something Kevin told me years ago, back when we were dating. Thai is a tonal language, babe. You can say the same syllable, but if your pitch goes up or down, it changes from near to far, or horse to dog. I needed ears, not a keyboard. The next morning, I called in sick. I waited until Kevin left for work. He was a consultant, which mostly involved long lunches and vague phone calls, and I drove 40 minutes to the other side of the city. I went to a small, hole-in-the-wall Thai grocery store where I knew nobody knew me. I walked up to the counter. An older woman was counting inventory. "Hi," I said, my voice trembling slightly. "I have a weird question. I'm trying to learn Thai for my husband, and I keep hearing a word. Can you tell me what it means?" She looked up, adjusting her glasses. "Okay. What word?" I took a deep breath. I tried to replicate the exact pitch, the sharp, biting tone I'd heard his aunt use in the kitchen. Not the soft, cooing way Kevin said it. The way the family said it when I wasn't looking. "Noosao," I said, dropping my pitch low and guttural. The woman's face changed instantly. The polite customer service smile vanished, replaced by a sharp frown. She looked offended. "Who call you that?" she asked. I heard it in a movie," I lied. "What does it mean?" She hesitated, wiping her hands on her apron. "It is not nice word. It mean, stupid. Like, foolish person. No is stupid. Saw is girl. But put together like that, it means the gullible one. The one you can trick." My stomach dropped through the floor. It felt like I was back on the side of the road with the flat tire, only this time, there were no brake pads to save. Are you sure? I whispered. Could it mean dear girl? She shook her head vigorously. No, dear girl is Noosao or Noosao. High tone. Soft. No, low tone, is buffalo brain. Stupid. I thanked her, bought a pack of gum I didn't want, and walked out to my car. I sat in the driver's seat and looked at my wrist. The tattoo. I had asked Kevin to write it down for the artist. I wanted it to be authentic. I remembered him sketching it on a napkin, that little flicker in his eyes I had mistaken for emotion. It wasn't emotion. It was the thrill of the con. I drove to a tattoo parlor 3 blocks away. I walked in and shoved my wrist under the nose of the artist, a guy with piercings in his eyebrows. Can you read Thai? I asked. No, sorry. Do you have Google Lens? He pulled out his phone. He scanned my wrist. It processed for a second. Translation, the fool. I didn't cry. I think I was past crying. I felt a cold, hard crystallization in my chest. 8 years. 8 years of dinners. 8 years of them smiling at me. 8 years of Noosao. I thought about the flat tire. I thought about the brake pads. Worn to nothing, he had said. He showed me the pads. But I didn't know what brake pads were supposed to look like. I just trusted the handsome stranger who pulled over. I pulled up my bank app. We had a joint account, but I was the one who put money in it. Kevin's consulting was sporadic. My job as a senior project manager was the steady drip that kept his family's big loud dinners funded. I scrolled through the transactions. Siam Auto Repair, $400. Siam Auto Repair, $600. Cash withdrawal, $500. His cousin owned Siam Auto Repair. The realization hit me like a physical blow. The flat tire. It hadn't been an accident. I remembered seeing a truck parked a mile back that day, the same color as his cousin's truck. Had they thrown something on the road? Had they waited? I was not a wife. I was a mark. I was the long con. I went home. I didn't pack. I didn't scream. I made myself a cup of tea and sat at the kitchen island, the kitchen I paid for, and I started to plan. They called me Noosao. The stupid girl. The gullible one. They thought I was stupid because I was kind. They thought I was stupid because I trusted the man I slept next to. They mistook vulnerability for weakness. They were about to learn the difference. I spent the next 3 weeks playing the part perfectly. I smiled. I cooked. I answered to Noosao with a bright, vapid chirp. Hey, Noosao, can you spot me $1,000? Investment thing, Kevin asked one Tuesday, lazily scrolling through his phone. Of course, honey. I said. Let me just move some funds around. I didn't move funds around. I opened a forensic audit of our entire life. I hired a private investigator named Miller. He was expensive, but he was worth it. Within a week, he handed me a dossier thicker than a phone book. It's a family business, Miller said, sliding the photos across the desk of his smoky office. They run insurance scams. Slip and falls, staged car accidents. And you, Mrs. Prem, are the clean money. They funnel the dirty cash through your joint accounts to wash it, then pull it out for expenses. He pointed to a photo of Kevin, my Kevin, with a woman I didn't recognize. She was holding a baby. That's ploy, Miller said gently. She lives in the condo his parents own. The one you pay the maintenance fees on. I looked at the photo. Kevin looked happy. He looked real. Not the mask he wore with me. Is it his? I asked. The baby? Yeah. He's 2 years old. I remembered 2 years ago. I had wanted to try for a baby. Kevin had told me, with tears in his eyes, that he was sterile. He said it broke his heart, that he felt less like a man, and that he couldn't bear to talk about it. I had comforted him. I had told him we were enough. Noosao. What do you want to do? Miller asked. I looked at the photo of the baby. Then I looked at the photo of Kevin laughing with his cousin, the one who choked on her drink when she saw my tattoo. I want to burn it down, I said. All of it. Part 3, The Golden Goose. The opportunity arrived in the form of his mother's 60th birthday. It was going to be a massive event. They had rented a banquet hall. They expected me to foot the bill, of course. For the family, Kevin had said, kissing my forehead. You're the favorite daughter-in-law. It would mean so much to Mom. I paid the deposit. I organized the catering. I invited everyone. I also made a few other calls. The night of the party, I wore a dress that cost more than Kevin's car. It was blood red. I did my hair up. I put on the diamond earrings Kevin had given me for our anniversary, which I now knew were cubic zirconia, bought with money he stole from my savings. The hall was packed. 50 of his relatives. The air smelled of jasmine rice and expensive whiskey. Noosao, his mother cried when she saw me, rushing over to hug me. She looked at my wrist, visible, and smirked. So beautiful. Happy birthday, Mom, I said, beaming. I circulated. I laughed. I let them make their little jokes in Thai, thinking I was deaf to the tone. Look at her, I heard the aunt say near the buffet. Eating the satay like a cow. Does she know the bank transfer cleared? Shoo, the cousin giggled. Don't scare the golden goose. I ate the satay. It was delicious. When it was time for the speeches, Kevin got up first. He waxed poetic about his mother's sacrifice, her love, her guidance. He cried. He was a fantastic actor. Then, he handed the microphone to me. And now, he announced, my beautiful wife, who made this all possible. Noosao. The room applauded. Some people snickered. I took the mic. I stood in the center of the stage, the spotlight blinding. Thank you, Kevin, I said. My voice was steady. I have learned so much from this family. When Kevin found me on the side of the road 8 years ago, I was lost. I didn't know anything about cars. I didn't know anything about love. I paused. I looked directly at Kevin. And I certainly didn't know any Thai. Kevin's smile faltered slightly. But Kevin told me the best way to learn is to live it, I continued. And he was right. So, for the last month, I've been living it. I've been taking intensive lessons. The room went quiet. The ambient chatter died. I learned some fascinating words, I said, walking to the edge of the stage. I learned no. I learned saw. Kevin's face went gray. His mother froze, her glass of wine halfway to her mouth. I learned that for 8 years, I haven't been dear girl. I've been the stupid bitch who pays the mortgage. A collective gasp ripped through the room. Kevin, I said, turning to him. Did you know that in Thai, there's also a word for prison? He stood up, his chair scraping loudly against the floor. Honey, you're drunk. Let's go. I'm not drunk, I said cheerfully. But I am done. I gestured to the back of the room. The double doors swung open. Four uniformed police officers walked in, followed by 2 men in suits, IRS auditors. Kevin Prem, one of the officers announced. We have a warrant for your arrest for insurance fraud, embezzlement, and grand larceny. Pandemonium. Kevin tried to run. He actually tried to bolt for the kitchen, but his cousin, the auto shop owner, was blocking the way, having been tackled by another officer. And Mom? I said into the mic, looking at the birthday girl. I canceled the check for the party. You have about 10 minutes to pay the venue manager, or he's calling the cops on you for theft of services. I hope you saved some of that money I gave you. I dropped the microphone. It hit the floor with a deafening thud. I walked off the stage. Kevin was in handcuffs, screaming at me. You crazy bitch. You ruined everything. I loved you. I stopped in front of him. I pulled up my sleeve. You didn't love me, I said, pointing to the tattoo. You branded me. I leaned in close, so only he could hear. But you forgot one thing about snakes, Kevin. If you step on them, they bite. The divorce was messy, but satisfying. With Kevin in prison awaiting trial, the evidence Miller gathered was airtight. I had the upper hand. I got the house. I got the cars. I got the satisfaction of watching his consulting firm dissolve into dust. Ploy, the mistress, came to see me once. She cried. She said she didn't know. She said Kevin told her I was his crazy sister who he had to take care of financially. He lied to everyone, I told her. Take the kid and run. Before you become the next Noosao. She ran. I sold the house. I couldn't live there anymore. Too many ghosts. Too many echoes of laughter that I now knew was directed at me. I moved to the city. I got a loft. I got a dog, a rescue pit bull who actually did have kind eyes. But there was one last thing to do. I went to a high-end tattoo removal clinic. The laser hurt more than the needle, a snapping heat against my skin. We can cover it up, the artist suggested. Or we can remove it. But it'll leave a scar. I don't mind the scar, I said. Just get the word off me. It took 6 sessions. When it was done, there was a pale, jagged patch of skin on my wrist. It looked like a burn. It looked like I had survived a fire. Epilogue. 3 years later. I was at a coffee shop, waiting for a date. His name was Mark. He was an accountant. He was boring, quiet, and honest. A man walked in. He looked familiar. He was older, thinner, wearing a mechanic's jumpsuit. It was Kevin's cousin. The one who owned the shop. He had taken a plea deal, ratted out the rest of the family to avoid jail time. He was working at a garage down the street. He saw me. He froze. I was wearing a sleeveless top. I saw his eyes dart to my wrist. He saw the scar. He looked terrified. I smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. It was the smile of a woman who knows exactly who she is. Hello, what? I said. Noosao, he stammered, reverting to the old lie out of panic. No, I corrected him gently. I stood up, grabbing my coffee. My name is Sarah. And if I ever see you or anyone from your family again, I will finish what I started. I still have the files on the offshore accounts your mom hid. Don't think I forgot. He paled. He backed out of the shop, nearly tripping over the doormat. I sat back down. Mark walked in a moment later, carrying a single red rose. He looked nervous. Hi, he said. Sorry I'm late. There was traffic. It's okay, I said. I wasn't waiting long. You look lovely, he said. I looked him in the eye. I searched for the flicker. I searched for the lie. I saw only nerves and hope. Thank you, I said. He noticed my wrist. What happened there? If you don't mind me asking. I touched the scar. It was smooth now. Healed. I used to have a label there, I said. But I outgrew it. What did it say? I took a sip of coffee. The bitter warmth tasted like freedom. It was a reminder, I said. To read the fine print. Mark laughed. It was a genuine, awkward laugh. Well, I'm an accountant. I love fine print. I smiled. Good. Then you'll do just fine. We ordered dinner. The restaurant was quiet. We talked about taxes and dogs and the weather. It was the most boring dinner of my life. And it was absolutely perfect.